All right, Vlad, I sent you a request. You just have to accept it. Vlad, how's it going, man?
Hello?
Yeah, how's it
Oh,
going,
what's going
man?
on, man? Yeah, sorry, this is like my first time doing one of these things.
Hey, no worries at all, man. Before we begin, everybody who's in the chat right now, if you could just share this Twitter space, put on your IG, your Twitter, etc., etc. So again, I'm going to get this interview rolling. Special guest, we have Vlad Panin. He's joined us. Vlad is a pro boxer. And Vlad, if you don't mind, for people who may not be familiar with you, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Uh, yeah, my name is Vlad Panin. I'm a pro boxer. I was originally born in like Belarus, Eastern Europe. It was part of Russia before, and then I grew up in Vegas. Um, did a lot of training at like Floyd Mayweather's boxing club. Um, moved out here to LA for college, and then I wanted to keep training. I always wanted to compete because I never had like a coach that would take me to tournaments and stuff like that. So then I found a really good coach out here and started competing, started, fighting out of state all over the country. Um, and then when I graduated school, I just ended up turning pro. And yeah, last fight was May 21st. I just knocked out a guy who had never been knocked out before, who had been in there with some Olympians, some really good top level prospects. And I knew, had I knocked him out, it was going to be like a really good look. So, now I'm climbing up the ranks. I have a new fight date. And yeah, just, being in LA, you meet a lot of people and you network. And I've been fortunate to work with a lot of the YouTube boxers and become friends with a lot of them and stuff. So it's cool to see like all these things develop behind the scenes and stuff, and then see them turn into like such huge events.
Yeah, it is funny how, YouTube boxing can help create friendship and relationships.
Hmm.
All right, man, you talked about your last fight. That was the Ashton Silva event.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then you was the main event, but I have a question. Was you originally the main event? Because I was watching the event and then like they put Ashton like mid because they hurry up and, move to mid because like it was midnight on the East Coast. They said, let's hurry up and move him. So I guess they have more eyeballs on him. So was you originally the main event, or was it all scrambled?
Um, it was all scrambled. I mean, like when they first put me on the show, I think I was initially like on the bout sheet, the main event, because I think I was like the only 8 rounder, but then I think they made Ashton the 8 rounder, so he could be main event. Obviously, like he's got like a really good following, and I've known Ashton. I mean, I remember seeing him at like 10 years old in the amateurs, and like that kid was always like really nice. Um, and I was like, damn, who's this kid? Like he's really good. He was like a mini Floyd. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so to see him grow up and his body develop, and now he's got a pro body and the experience to go with it, and it's really cool, and his social media blew up and stuff, so you know excited to see where he goes.
Hey, he has the Jake Paul machine behind him, most valuable
Hmm.
promotions.
Yeah, yeah, that's big. I mean, I've thought about that too, like if times change and you got to change with the times, and I think that's what like Jake and Logan Paul, like they're really good at doing, is like like you look at Logan, like he really is like a maverick with like the YouTube boxing, like the NFT stuff, and just YouTube itself. Like he was like one of the first ones. So um, he's really good at like seeing what the new wave is going to be, or even like creating it.
Absolutely. Like right now on paper, Jake Paul gonna be fine at Madison Square Garden. Like that's insane
Yeah,
just to say out loud.
yeah, and I keep seeing that. Uh, I don't know if it's confirmed or not yet, but people are starting to like say that Tommy Fury is like confirmed or whatever. Um, So I'm excited to see that fight because that's definitely going to be Jake's biggest test to date.
Oh, absolutely. That fight happens, I will definitely be there in person. I have to. I
Yeah.
originally bought tickets in Tampa, but then he pulled out, so I was there for Drake versus Woodley too. But yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely be there.
I mean, at least you saw a good knockout.
Oh, absolutely. I enjoy myself, man. Like again, that was history. That knockout was history.
Hmm.
And when Jake fights Tommy, history's gonna be made. Either
Yeah.
Jake Paul gonna beat a pro boxer or a pro boxer is going to quote unquote find shut up Jake Paul. So history's gonna be
Yeah.
made either way.
Yeah.
And again, let's go back to your fight, man. After you won, you had some special people in the ring celebrating with you, man. You had like Fousey, Temper, and Wassabi. Tell
Hmm.
people a little bit about your relationship with those guys.
Yeah, man, those are all my guys. I met, I think Alex was, I think I met him first because he was going to the same boxing gym that I was going to in downtown LA. And then um, we ended up connecting. And then, I would help like train him once in a while. And then, now we just have like, you know, a friendship and we'll go run together. And, uh, you know, we live together. Um, and then I met Fousey through him, and then probably I met Temper like the most recent out of all of them, maybe like a few months ago, because he was sparring Alex when Alex was getting ready for Deji, and um, they were both working with each other, and it's funny because now Temper and I have the same coach,
Oh
so
well.
yeah, Temper's got a really good team. Um, and Temper's like like even for me, um, with all the experience and all the training that I've had, it's like Temper's not an easy fight for anybody. I mean, even at like the higher pro levels, because it's like when you have a guy that is so long and so tall, and the southpaw, that's like that's a lot to deal with, especially like if you don't have the experience of like how to close distance, how to fight southpaws, and all that stuff. And like he's got good feet. I think he used to kickbox or some sort of martial arts. Um,
Hmm.
so that's definitely like one of the most avoided, like one of the best YouTube boxers out there right now.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I would have Temper. And again, it's funny how like me, people we now have like top 10, top fight lists. And it's funny having top five YouTube boxers, but like yeah, there's some names in here who legit can go. Like I said, you mentioned you got Jake, you got Temper. As Wasabi, he's had a win against Deji, so it's funny, but like yeah, I have Temper
Hmm.
as one of the best guys out there.
And not only a win against Deji, but in my opinion, the cleanest win against Deji and against the best Deji. Um, when Deji fought Jake, granted, like that was both of their first fight, but
Hmm.
Deji busted up Jake's nose. Jake's nose was bleeding, um, and then when he fought Vinny Hacker, clearly he was dominating that fight, and then he just gassed, and that's obviously his fault. But I think when Alex fought him, he was the most focused. He was the best shape that he had ever been in. Um, he had clearly added a lot of skills like defensively and stuff. And I think people don't give Alex enough credit for that win because I mean, like he literally like didn't get touched. And you look at where Jake is now, and uh, he had a cleaner win. I mean, Jake like eventually stopped him, but
Yeah.
I think from like a technical boxing purist standpoint, like the name of the game is to hit and not get hit, and Alex did
Hmm.
exactly that, and to me, like a flawless performance.
I agree. Like he won all the rounds. It's crazy how one judge gave Deji the whole fight, which is ridiculous. But that's show star. I mean, and
Yeah,
about the BS
yeah,
that came from there.
yeah.
Speaking
Same
of which,
with Temper.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Because I watched, when Alex was declared a winner, and you was in his corner. Was you in Alex Sabi's corner, man, or was you just there to support him in the stands?
Oh no, yeah, I was co-training him for that fight,
Okay.
so I was there for the whole camp. Um, I was there at every sparring session, you know, the good days or the bad days. And, um, you know, I think because, you know, it's like we, the public, like, we only judge someone's ability or performance based on like what you see fight night, right? But
Yeah.
it's like if you're with a guy every day and you see them spar like every other day and you see, yeah, I mean you just see like way more of their skill set and their ability, and you see like what happens in these moments where, you know, it's a give and take, and what happens when you eat a good shot, or you know, when things get heated. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Alex. I mean, he has a lot more uh, than people think.
Yeah, that was his first ever fight in front of fans. Because the last time before that was when his sparring against Fousey, and I think too many people focused on him getting knocked down by Fousey.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's like that was honestly his first time ever sparring,
Hmm.
and Fousey, um, like I've held miss for Fousey. Like Fousey's like not like a weak guy. Like Fousey's a really strong guy. So, um, you know, it's like your first time sparring. It's like you just can't judge somebody's ability off that. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And even
Um.
before he got caught, like he was doing really well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He won. He won that easily because I remember when that sparring video came out. I said, "Okay, Alex won round one easily," and then
Yeah,
second round came and Food just turned up, and Alex was
yeah,
expecting it.
yeah. But it's like, you know, like if Alex's fight gets made with KSI, which I hope it does, and people think that, you know, that's the same Alex that's going to be fighting KSI, is like definitely not the case. Like, you know.
Well, let's speak on that because right now the rumor is August 27th in London at
Uh-huh.
the O2 Arena. The rumor is KSI versus Al Wasabi. Will
hmm
you said you co-train him when he fought Deji? Will you be co-training Alex when he fights KSI?
I'm gonna walk with him. I'm gonna be in his corner for sure.
Okay,
As far as his coaching and his team, um, I don't know what he has planned for that.
gotcha. Okay. Um, okay, let's talk about that fight, man. The last time we saw KSI was,
hmm
his win against Logan Paul. And last time we saw Alex was against his win against Deji. How you see the
hmm
fight going?
Alex and KSI.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Um, so I had never met KSI, but I met him like I was there in the locker room watching Deji get his hands wrapped, and you know, like as a fighter, you kind of instinctively, naturally, just like size people up. Um, and he wasn't as big as I thought. I mean, like, you know, same height as Alex, maybe a little broader, maybe a little more muscular. But you know, I'm sure if they fight, they're gonna have to agree on a catch weight, and you know, KSI is gonna have to come down, and Alex is gonna go up, or whatever makes sense. You know. Um, so when I look at like the physical, um, when I look at the physical attributes, I think they're pretty even, like even in height, even in length. Um, and then you know, KSI might have uh, an advantage in strength and size and experience. Um, but I really think people are sleeping on like Alex's ability, and not just his ability, but like his mental, like his uh his mental strength. Like, you know, just because Alex has a baby face, people think he's this really nice guy, which he is. But you know, it's like Manny Pacquiao was like a really nice guy, but when he got in the ring, he was a complete killer. You know,
Vicious.
yeah, and like I've seen Alex, you know, be physical and like rough and just like dog it out on the inside, like you know, um, which like for someone who's not been boxing for a while, it's like that's like kind of like the last thing to develop is like your inside game, you know. So if KSI thinks he's just gonna walk Alex down and he's not gonna have to eat a bunch of punches to get in there, and then even when they do get inside, it's like a lot of times, um, you know. guys want to get inside because they think they're going to get the upper hand, but it's like, what happens if you get inside and you don't have the upper hand? What if the guy can fight you off on the inside as well? Then it becomes a lot more even of a fight, especially if if you're getting outboxed on the outside and then you get to the inside and the guy is a lot more capable than you think in close and a lot more comfortable, then you kind of start to doubt yourself, because then you're like, oh, well, I can't beat him on the outside and I can't beat him on the inside, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a really really interesting fight.
I agree. I said Alex of the two Alex is the most recent. Well, excuse me, he's the most active fighter. He just fought what in
Yeah.
March.
Uh huh.
Yeah, and again, and as good as Alex looked in his fight, with more training, even more with more purpose, he's gonna look better in his second fight than his first fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you said, like he's a more active fighter. He's been busier. Um, you know, I'm sure he's still training and adding tools to his skill set. Um, and I really do think like a lot of people are underestimating him.
Well, when that fight is officially announced, 'cause like I said, it's just rumors and nothing's official yet. I'll be watching another fight that's rumored
And
between
if
Deji.
the fight
Oh,
does get made, I want to fight one of the pro boxers on KSI's team. We should make that happen. A U.S. versus U.K. showdown. YouTuber versus YouTuber and pro versus pro. Because I'll fight anybody out of the UK.
okay. Well, what's your weight class?
147.
147. Okay, for people in listening, go and spread it around. See who's
Yeah, let's
145
have
over at
Alex's guy.
KSI's camp.
Yeah, let's have Alex's guy versus KSI's guy, whoever it is.
There you go. Hey, these fans will make it happen. They'll go deep and looking,
Oh, let's
to see the.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love to
But
fight on that card.
oh yeah, that fight's gonna be huge because another
Because
fight.
the cool thing is, sorry, before
No,
we move
no,
on,
no. Go ahead.
um, you know, before Alex's fight with Deji, Alex wanted to get like um used to what it feels like to walk out and like to be in the ring and stuff. So like he actually cornered me for like my last couple of fights, and then I cornered him for Deji's fight. So um, Alex is used to that walkout. He's now used to fighting in front of a hostile crowd. And honestly, like I was really, really proud of him when he fought Deji, because, I mean, for your first fight, like in front of like 11, 12,000 fans, however many it was, and they're all booing and screaming at you, and it's like that's a really hostile environment. And then, like, mind you, we're getting egged all week. Like these guys are just like running us. Like we couldn't go anywhere without security. The fans out in the UK, I mean, like, I love how passionate they are, but that was crazy.
Yeah, and
So
then
for him to weather that, because it's like your first time doing anything, like there's gonna be questions like, oh, is he gonna fold under pressure? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do that? And it's like things like that, like you don't know until they happen. But it's like clearly he proved like he's a lot mentally stronger than people gave him credit for.
what's crazy is during the fight when that fan ran in, Alex was
Hmm.
calm. Alex was
Yeah,
calm. I think he even said like he checked on Deji. Like that's how
yeah.
like that's insane. We're like you're like, oh, what's going on? And he wasn't rattled. I think Deji was kind of rattled.
Yeah, no, I mean literally like they they tried everything to get in Alex's head. Every trick in the book, and um, the judges, the split decision, the fan running in, it's like all the fight week drama and stuff. For Alex to be calm throughout that entire experience and, perform um when he had to and the way he did, I was like very, very proud of him.
Absolutely. And again,
And
he
with
has
all these
20.
YouTube boxers, because you know, I'm friends with Taylor Holder as well, and he even said like, I think when I fought Gibb, like I just like froze under the lights, because it's like, your first fight, like to be on such a big stage like that, it's like people like have no idea. Those lights are different. I mean, for example, like when I fought over COVID on ESPN, like that was when like the double uppercut happened.
Mm-hmm.
There were no fans, right? So, and it's weird because it's like you know, like you're being televised, but there's like no crowd, and then but just not having a crowd makes it so much easier to focus because then it's like a sparring session. Whereas like, you know, things happen during fights where it's like you block a punch, but it makes a sound and the crowd goes crazy. The crowd goes like, ooh, even though like the punch didn't even land. And then you start to get in your head like, well, like did the judges like score that? Like did they think that landed? Because you know, obviously like the crowd does affect the judging at some point.
Yeah.
Um, and you know it's really hard to tune all that out and stuff. And I think had Deji gotten some sort of momentum, you know, the crowd would have like erupted, and for Alex to just like silence that entire arena like that, like I thought that was really impressive.
Absolutely. Um, again, we're talking about the Misfit boxing event that's rumored to be in August 27th. Another fight is going to be Deji versus Fousey. That's a rumor fight that's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that one gets made too.
All right, let's speak on that one.
Oh, and
Again,
4.
okay, so Deji's going to be first 0-4 boxer.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he's gonna
Okay.
get a win at some point, but it's not gonna be against Fuzi. I'll tell you that.
How was Fousey looking? Because the last time we saw Fousey was against Slim, and that was in 2019. So talk about how the progress that he has made since then.
Oh, I think you know, well, it's like obviously like everyone has seen like his physical transformation. Like he's in incredible shape now. Um, you know, before he even took this fight, like he was already in amazing shape. And you know, people don't know that he had less than 2 months for the Slim card, and
Yes.
they kind of just threw him right into sparring and training without teaching him any fundamentals. Um, I mean, he said like his coach literally like wouldn't let him take a step back, and anytime he would, like he would just be behind him, like pushing him forward, you know. And I think that kind of coaching, like it's just not like it's just not smart, you know. And you know, to throw someone in the ring where you have the potential to get hurt without teaching them defense and fundamentals and you know how to move your feet, how to block your punches, how to move your head. Um, you know, those are all like really, really important things to get down before, you know, someone's like swinging as hard as they can trying to knock you out. Um, and um, he had like 2 shoulder tears for that fight. I mean, like there's, you know, it's not like a good, it wasn't a good account of Fuji.
Yeah.
Um, and you know, it's like at the end of the day, like he's the one going out there taking the punches, but at the same time, like you know, I just didn't agree with the coaching, and you know, I think first of all that fight should have been stopped sooner,
Yeah.
um, and his coach, I mean, like he like you didn't teach him anything, and like you know, like there's a lot of these guys where it's like their answer to everything is more, harder, 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 you know, and it's just like that's not like a smart approach because it's like they're not the ones in there taking the punches, you know. It's like if someone just keeps beating on you, who's to say that like you know they're gonna gas out?
Yeah, and again, that's when I was covering, YouTube boxing. For people who's here, I am running the Heavy Punch Twitter account, but this is Fight Lounge on IG and Twitter. I've been covering this since like 2018, and was covering all that. And Fuji said, "Yo, my shoulder's messed up." I think he said the only reason he didn't pull out because that event was for charity.
Hmm.
If think it was a regular event, he would have pulled out. He was like, "No, it's for charity. He's helping Yemen."
Yeah,
So yeah, so you commend him for that. Like I said, hindsight 2020 wasn't the right thing to do, but his heart was in the right place.
yeah, yeah. I think now you know Fuji's got a much better team. Uh, his mindset is a lot better because even back then, it's like even if he was in shape, like he wasn't as conditioned, he wasn't as cut up as he is now, and you know, mentally, it's like it's not just what you're doing, but it's also like how long you've been doing it for, right? So it's like
Yeah,
now, like he's been sober for like 9 months or a year, whatever he said it was. Um, And I mean, you could obviously see like in his body, like he's really training hard. So I think even before he started his training camp, he was in better shape than Deji will ever be in. And you add skills on top of that, people are really underestimating Fousey as well because, um, like I said, I've held mitts for him. He's he's a really strong guy, and Deji is smaller. Deji's not as physically strong. The only advantages Deji has is fight experience. Um, but it's not like you're really experienced that's giving him confidence. Like, no offense, it's like if you keep losing and losing, it's like, is that good experience or is that bad experience? You get what I'm saying?
I
Um,
bet I said with each fight he's punching less and less.
yeah, yeah, he's probably becoming more and more tentative because it's like if you're winning fights, you're knocking guys out, then it makes you want to be more aggressive. But it's like if you keep losing fights, then it makes you want to. It's like you become more and more of a shell of yourself. So um, I think they go out there and fight, and Fousey hits him with a stiff jab, or Fousey just hits him anywhere, and Deji feels how strong this guy is. He's not going to want to open up. He's gonna start moving his head and slipping again, and you know I'm sure he'll make Fousey miss and stuff. But it's like you can't win a fight with defense alone.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta have some offense. So again, so you have Digi going on 4. How you see that fight ending?
Uh, I think Fousey knocks him out.
Wow, did you get stopped for a third time?
hmm I
Okay,
think Fousey
man.
catches him, or Fousey breaks him down to the body.
One thing about Deji that's unlocked is, he isn't dedicated enough. Even in this, when we fought Alex, he had excuses. And we can see for Fuzi, he's more dedicated, he's more focused. So that's definitely an advantage for Fuzi. And again, the last time we saw him was against Slim. Everybody's just clowning Fuzi, same way he's clowning Alex, and he got a win. So I think
Mhm.
Fuzi has a lot to fight for in this fight.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think he would. Uh, I don't think he would accept the fight. Or I don't think he would step back in the ring. Period. If his mental state wasn't, like if he wasn't confident, because he's obviously had a lot of time to sit with this, and you know, then you really gotta like ask yourself, do I really want to do this or not? And the thing about Fuzi is that like once he makes a decision, he sticks to it. So he's focused. He's training hard, and I think that's going to be another good fight.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
It's going to be a
Is
night of
he?
upsets.
Huh?
It's going to be another night of upsets. We're going back to the UK to bring the wins back to the US.
There you go. Um, Again, there's so many events. We got Jake versus Rumor, Tommy Fury,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Osman Broom versus Gibb. Did you hear that? That's what happened at the Staples Center.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was. That's funny. So Nick Young is
Fighting
he's fighting
Blueface.
he's fighting Blueface, and
Yep.
he trains at this gym like right by Alex and I's house. And I was supposed to go spar Nick Young, um, but like he ended up just not showing up to the gym. But yeah, Austin McBroom's fighting Gibb. That's gonna be a good
Hmm.
fight. I think that's a good fight. I didn't
You.
even I didn't even think about that one yet, but Austin's a good boxer. He's athletic. He played college basketball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, he's athletic. You could tell like just by like a guy's movements that um, just by like a feint or something, like you could tell that he's an athlete. But Gibb is like a little tank. It's like, Taylor kind of had all the physical advantages when they fought. He had the speed, he had the reach,
The
the
knowledge.
height. Um, yeah, and we saw what happened with that. So when a guy is walking you down and he's not taking a step back, then you know a lot of questions get answered.
For Gibb versus Holder, I
Hmm.
picked Gibb, and my reason was he just more experienced
Yeah,
because he had a stop on his record. It was first fight. He went four
yeah.
rounds, which was a crazy fight against Jay Swingler. His third fight was against Jake. He got stopped. Then we fought Holder. That was his fourth fight. Fourth
Oh,
fight
that
in
was his
front of
fourth
him.
fight.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense.
And all in front of people. And then for Holder, his first to be in a stadium, that was Hard Rock Stadium,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was like that alone. And again,
mhm,
its experience showed that night.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Taylor straight up told me, he was like, "Yeah, like I just froze up under the lights," and it's like, unless you know what that feels like, it's like people have no idea how hard it is to perform when you're on such a big stage.
Yeah,
It's like, all these guys like who were knocking everybody out, and then when they go and fight Floyd Mayweather, like they would just freeze up because they're just not used to that stage.
yep, and it's levels.
And that's kind of like the question with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is like, obviously Tommy's got the skills, he's got the experience, he's got more time in boxing. He comes from a boxing family, but it's like, is he going to be able to, uh, perform under the lights?
Yeah, because before Jake said come find me, Tommy's been a prelim fighter. All his
Yeah.
fights has been on prelim, so and
Yeah,
again, it's just like
he's not getting paid like a prelim fighter. He got freaking 700,000 for a 4 rounder against Anthony Taylor. I would love a payday like that. Are you kidding me?
But also with Jake, every single fight has been like make or break. Because if he lost to Deji back in 2018, his career is totally different. If he
Yeah.
lost to Gibb, it's different. So for him, every single fight he has to win, even with Woodley too. Like
Yeah.
I was in person. I was like, it was an ugly fight, but I was like, Woodley might win by points. Even my
Uh-huh.
win by points would have been damaging to Jake. So every
Yeah.
fight, it just make a break, and so it's
Mhm.
something Tommy hasn't dealt with yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. It's definitely different when your career is kind of like made for you, that you're fighting guys with losing records. And I think his last fight he finally fought a guy that was like 10-1 or something like that. He dropped him like once or twice. He looked all right. It went the distance, but I don't think he looked bad. Because now there's like a lot of pressure on him, and if he doesn't
Yeah,
knock the guy out, then they're gonna talk shit about him and stuff. Um, like you said for Jake, like every fight is like, even um if he has like the technical advantage or whatever against who he's fighting, it's like uh every fight is like everybody's watching and they're waiting for him to get knocked out. It's like it takes a different kind of person to live with that kind of pressure and be able to perform still.
absolutely. And that's one thing what I give to, the YouTube walkers is they know what now in 2022, but like they look for the Joe Whalers and people who were lost early, and they're like, damn, I don't want that to happen to me. Like when Gibb lost to Jake for a whole year, whenever he
Mm.
would tweak something or say something, people was like, oh, crab walk, oh, duck. So now people's like, nah, I can't lose. I don't want to get that. Versus if you are an amateur and it's like your second, third fight, you ain't got to worry about getting clowned,
Yeah,
online.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, that's why like I really respect like what these YouTube boxers have to go through, because it's like all of their development is happening under a microscope and everybody's scrutinizing every move that they make, and they're not really able to fail like these other guys are and learn from their failures, because it's like you lose one fight and now the whole world is like clowning you. It's
Yeah,
like how are you supposed to learn and progress from that? It's tough. You got to have thick skin.
agreed, man. Agreed. Well, at the beginning of this, you said you have a fight date. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your next fight, man. Do you have a date, location, opponent announced?
Yeah, I'm fighting July 23rd. Here, kind of like local to LA. It's in Pomona. It's like an hour east of LA. We're trying to lock in an opponent right now. it's like I have like names that like I send over to the promoters and stuff, and I'm just interested in like climbing the rankings and fighting good guys, but um, sometimes the good guys like they don't want to take the risk and fight. So, um, but whoever it is, like like we're gonna get a good opponent. Um, and then yeah, if I could get on that card against like one of KSI's guys or stablemates in the UK, um, like that's like a dream of mine too. Is like to fight overseas, to fight in the UK, because it's like that's such an incredible fan base. They're so passionate. It's like the way they support their people. It's great to see.
Absolutely. And now on these cards, like I think now people are finally realizing how YouTube boxing can benefit pro boxers. Yourself, you have made a relationship
Yeah.
and friendship with big names. Look at Vidal Riley. Like
Hmm.
Vidal got signed to Mayweather Promotions, and he was in UK thanks to KSI.
Yeah.
Um, Montana Love was on Jake Paul versus Woolley One undercard, got signed by Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
And another pro boxer, I forget his name. He's Australian. He was on
Uh-huh.
Jake versus Woolley 2. 2 years later, got signed by Matchroom Boxing. So, so,
Oh,
so you're,
nice.
yeah, I forget. Like he's like Eddie Hearn's doing his first Australian show, and like he's the main event. But like I was like, yo, that's crazy. That shows that like the eyes are really on these events now. So again,
Yeah.
yeah, if you go on those like Misfit against one KSI's guys and have a show out, boom, all the eyeballs will be on
Mhm.
you,
Oh yeah, I would love that.
man.
I just think like there's talent everywhere, but I think living here in LA and uh it's not only like a melting pot of cultures, but it's like all the best of anything is like everyone tries to come out to LA and make it. So it's like um the guys I'm sparring on a daily basis are like Olympians from Russia or Kazakhstan or and then there's guys from Mexico, and then there's guys like from Cuba, and all over, and it's like this is really like a hotbed of talent, and if you can make it out here, like I'm confident with my chances like anywhere in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Again, Vlad, thank you for taking your time. At this time, for the fans listening, if you want to ask Vlad a question, go ahead and send a request, and he'll answer it. We have one right now, so when I add you, go ahead and ask Vlad a question. Yo, Alexander. Yo, you're on mute. I don't know if you even realize you don't speak here. Well, again, for people who listening want to ask Vlad a question, more welcome. Let's talk about the Austin versus Gibb. It's in LA. Will you be going to that fight?
Oh yeah, for sure. I gotta pull up.
Another fight that was just announced was DDG versus PNB Rock.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, yeah, because at Social Glove 1, DDG said, "Only time I fight will be against another rapper," and a
Uh-huh.
rapper stepped up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know too much about either of those guys. Like, I don't know um, if I've seen them fight, but you know, credit to them for stepping in the ring, and taking the risk.
Another person who I would see in the ring is Holder. Someone Taylor Holder.
Yeah,
Again, he has lost to a more experienced guy. In
yeah,
my opinion, that's really what it is. You can see the guy has skill,
yeah,
and and like having a loss early in your career can be a good thing because now he'll be hungry. Now he has something to prove to
yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah. Anytime you take a loss, I mean, you can go one of two ways. It's like you either let that diminish your confidence, or you decide that that's never going to happen again.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, you look at Floyd, you look at Roy Jones in the Olympics, and look at
yeah.
Earl Spence, Shakur Stevenson. I mean, like all these guys.
Losses can
So,
even make or break you,
oh yeah, 100%.
man. Well, I was going to see fans. I'm gonna ask any questions, man. But Vlad, in the meantime, man, if you want, you can go ahead and shout out all your socials so people can follow you.
Yeah. So my Twitter here's obviously linked at SuperbadVlad. Same my Instagram at SuperbadVlad. Um, I think my TikTok is the same. Honestly, like I'm really not active on Twitter, and like my TikTok presence is just like embarrassing. But because like I really don't like post, but um, Instagram is like where you can get all the fight news and get to take a look at like some of my training and stuff. I'm gonna try to like uh, focus more on you know creating and putting out more content and stuff because it's like that's something that I've never really like prioritized, but like obviously like being in the world of influencers and social media now, it's like I see the value in it because um if I can just get to a certain level of following, then it's like I don't think there's a single promoter that wouldn't want to work with me, especially if you have the skills to back it up.
Absolutely, man. That's one thing. And see,
Because it's
and
like nowadays it's like the only thing people care about is numbers. It's like, oh well, like is he doing numbers? Everything's like a business. So if it makes money, it makes sense.
absolutely, and again, the other side of boxing has always been promoters screwing over boxers, or because
Mhm.
they normally have the power. Versus now, thanks to Jake and Logan and these guys,
Yeah,
yeah, like Jake can say. I mean, Jake has fought on YouTube, pay per view, The Zone, Thriller, and now Showtime because the guy knows his worth. Like I know pro boxers who just yearning for the
yeah,
opportunity, just yearning for the opportunity just isn't getting it. Now with Jake,
yeah.
he's helping people. We also know his worth as well.
Hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you could be the most talented guy in the world, but it's like if nobody's able to see, or if you're not able, if you don't have a platform to display your skill set, then it's like, you know, what good is that?
Yeah,
So, it's like they really understand like the importance of marketing, and like they really mastered like I mean like Jake just knows how to put out shit that's gonna go viral. Um and that's something that everybody could learn from.
yeah. I mean, since the Nate Robinson knockout, in my opinion, so that was
Mhm.
Thanksgiving weekend, 2020. Jake has been talked about every single week. He has found a way that people talk about him,
Yeah. Yeah, no, for
and
sure. It's like it's almost like kind of like annoying because people that don't even watch boxing, it's like they always ask me about Jake Paul, or it's like they say like they're into boxing, but then it's like Jake Paul's like the first guy that they mention. It's like, well, it's like, I mean, yeah, he has crossed over into like pro boxing too. It's like the fact that like my dad or like like my older relatives like know about Jake Paul, like that just speaks to the level of his reach because it's not just YouTube anymore. It's like really like you said, like he's so consistently talked about. It's crazy.
yeah, and again, for good or for bad. Um, but again, I'm gonna wrap this up. Vlad, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for taking time out to do this interview. I really appreciate the chat.
Yeah, of course.
And again, go ahead and name, date, location of your upcoming fight.
Yeah, July 23rd in Pomona, California. Once I get detail of the tickets, then I'll link it on my Instagram. You can follow me at SuperbadVlad, and then I'll post more details closer to the fight.
And you're always welcome. So when the fight is announced, you're more welcome to come back on.
All right, Dub. Thank you guys.
All right. So everybody, I want to thank you everybody for stopping by. I will be doing a special. I did one today. I'm also gonna do another heavy punch promotion. So it's like tomorrow. Last week, you know, some shit happened, but I'm good this week. I'm actually gonna have Leon, who is Gibbs' coach, tomorrow on UK time. So it's gonna be 5 p.m. East Coast time. Um, I have no idea what time it's gonna be for LA, but I'll be doing a tour space tomorrow with Leon. 'Cause again, it's YouTube Boston season. We got Jake versus whoever. We're still waiting to confirm. KSI versus Alex is unconfirmed, but we think that's what it's heading. Logan. Speaking about Logan, Logan might be fine this year.
Oh yeah, against who?
I don't know, cause like you saw me his NFT. I know in one of his tweets he said, "Yo, if you buy my NFT, you'll be able to walk me out to my next fight." So for him to say that, and he
Uh,
was yeah, and he was in Boston Gym when he said that. So I think that's kind of
mhm.
going under the radar. But like, yeah, let's talk about Logan.
I
Who do
wonder
you
who
have
it'll
any?
be I wonder who it'll be because I've heard rumors of like Anderson Silva, but that was like a while back. I don't know if that's still a
Yeah,
thing. Um, I mean, I've sparred Logan. I'll tell you this: whoever he fights, um, they got to have a chin because um, he's definitely strong. It's like even though like when we sparred, like there was like a skill gap. Um, you know, if he can land on you, and I'm sure Jake is the same way. Like they're naturally strong, heavy-handed guys, and in boxing, all you need sometimes is like one good punch.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, look at Water.
Yo,
Water's right-handed
Yo,
deadly.
yeah, let's go.
let's get it.
Oh, Alex just got here.
Yo, who's this?
It's Happy Punch. I'm
Hey,
doing
what's up? What's up, boys?
Yo, Alex, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? Just got home.
Hey, we was talking about your rumor fight against KSI. So, get any
Oh man,
hints?
make it happen,
Anything?
please.
So it still isn't confirmed. You guys still in talks?
I mean, our teams have talked, but I don't know if they're just like feeling me out as a potential opponent or if he's gonna go with somebody else. But I want it to happen, so let's go.
Yeah, tell him sign the contract.
If and again, I'm thinking it's gonna be you or KSI, but by some chance, if not, would you wait for? Well, would you wait for like another event? Have your own event? What would be Plan B?
I'll still fight. I mean, I'll fight on the undercard. I don't care. I just want to fight. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Nobody believes me. I just want to fight. That's like I just like the reason I want to fight KSI is because he's, from what everybody says, the biggest and the baddest, and I want to fight the biggest and the baddest. So like that's why I want to fight him. I have no beef towards him, even though he hates me. It just happens to be that he is the biggest and baddest. So let's go.
Yeah, we only want the top dogs.
Absolutely. For you to beat Deji and KSI in the same year, that'd be
Let's go.
that'd be impressive record.
Oh yeah. Um, I'm down. We just gotta figure out the weight. I don't know if you guys talked about that, but that's probably the main thing we gotta figure out. But if he comes down to me, it's on.
See, and I'm glad you mentioned that. 'Cause that's the one thing in YouTube boxing that the fans don't understand, but Vlad do. When it's professional boxing, you have to be the weight class. If not, you will be penalized financially, or the fight is called off. Correct, Vlad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And with YouTube, it's exhibitions, amateur, so you can kind of play around like Craig Clash. People with like 10 pounds heavier. Okay, it's bitch whatever. But for
Yeah.
pro, you have to be. So I think, Mams Taylor wanted to be a pro fight, and I was like, if y'all agree at 175, both of y'all would have to be at 175.
What's the weight? Like, what's the max weight if you're a pro that you can be a part? Like 5 pounds,
I
10
think
pounds,
10 pounds. Yeah.
10. All right.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I
no,
would.
no. I think 10's way. I think the most, even if it's on an undercard, I think maybe like 4 or 5 pounds for a pro
Oh,
fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be that.
well, when I fought, well, before Deji's team reached out to fight, I was like 163, and then they wanted to fight at like 171, so I had to go up like whatever, however many pounds. So if KSI, I know he's gonna need me to go up some. Um, so then I'm probably gonna have to gain weight again. It's gonna be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing over again. I mean, if it happens in London, and it's Big Deji, and I have to go up and wait again, and I have to go through the hostile environment again, it's the same thing. I had the
Yeah.
same guy walking me out.
Yeah.
And also, like the rumored date is August 27th. Are you
Yeah.
don't worry about like that'll be here before you know it. We're already in mid June, and so I take it you're not in training camp. So do you think maybe they're like waiting to like have KSI be fully, have he be training more than you?
Yeah, bro, you gotta
Oh
start
yeah,
training.
I could see that. I could see him waiting to be like, oh, he won't like take training serious until he signs a contract. But you never know. You don't. Nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes.
One thing I want to say before, and I know you guys want to leave, but one thing I want to talk about Alex. What happened with the Craig clash? You was in the trailer, and it was
Yeah.
rumored you was gonna fight Manny Pacquiao's son, and you wasn't. What happened?
I was gonna fight him, and then it was just pretty much a weight difference because if I he fights at like 135 or 140, so if I was to come down, I would have to come down. I was 170 at the time because they hit
Ooh,
me up, like, right after the Deji fight, and I was like, dang, well, I'm gonna have to drop 30 pounds to fight, and then it would be hard for me to fight anybody else because if I ended up fighting Bryce or KSI or whatever, I have to go back up. So dropping 30 pounds and then coming back up again that fast,
Yeah.
it would be crazy. So
yeah.
I can't drop 30 pounds and then gain 40 pounds. That'd be great. That's too much work. So I told them maybe in the future, but right now I can't drop that much weight for no reason.
Especially you fought in March, and then
Mm-hmm.
Craig versus May. That's
Yeah,
way too close to even lose or even gain weight in that short period of time.
yeah, that's a lot. So
Well, you was at Craig Clash, man. You was there. You experienced the crowd, experienced the fight. Do you kind of wish, like, man, maybe if I would have like fought somebody else? Like, do you regret not fighting on that event?
um, kinda, but um, I don't know. I mean, I don't really dwell on the past, but it was a great event. Like it was crazy because like they kind of ran it the way I ran it. Like they had the same demeanor that I had. Like all the creators were respectful. All the creators were there to have fun, for the experience, to fight. They just wanted to fight. They were doing it for charity, but they weren't doing it for money. So everybody
Yeah,
involved in that was doing it for the same reason I'm doing it. They just wanted to fight. And I was like, yo, this is dope. And the whole crowd was a different audience than the normal YouTube crowd. Like there's the beef, like KSI beef, Jake beef. Everybody's like, "Oh, fuck you," and like they didn't have any of that. They had like so the crowd was amazing. There was no like fights in the crowd. There was no fans running in. There was no disrespect. There was no like the security never had a problem with anybody because everybody was respectful. And I loved how they ran that. So I would love to be a part of the next one too.
to
Well,
me, it seemed like everybody was having fun. The fighters was having fun, commentators was having fun, and the fans was having fun.
yeah, it was awesome. But we gotta head out.
Okay, well,
All right,
thanks
we'll
for
be
stopping
seeing.
by. Again, Vlad, thank you for stopping by. Alex, thanks for dropping some exclusives for us. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
man.
course. Anytime.
All right, man. All
All
right,
right.
peace out.
All right, bye.
All right, guys. So we got some exclusive. We talked to Alex Wasabi. That was dope cameo by Alex.